Delta, not Delta. Not Delta. Delta's the one from Kara. Deepa. Deepa's his name. Let's just go on to the fight. To the final fight. You know where Sarada unlocks your Mangekyo Sharingan and the Team 7 compressed Rasengan? So, when it starts, Christian says, Katon Gokaku! Deepa would easily just blast that away at his hands. But Christian's right in front of him going, ah! With a kunai strike. But then he just catches it and breaks his kunai, kicks him back. He goes, Boruto says, Rasengan! But his Rasengan is easily beaten, and then Boruto's kicked back. Sarada goes, Shanarole! And tries to punch him, but he catches it and throws Sarada back. Mitsuki would shoot his arms and tie him up. Christian would say, lightning style, lightning stream! It would shock him, but not do a lot. Then Boruto would jump in the air, and Christian would say, wind style, gale palm, and blast Boruto forward. He'd go, he says, water style, raging wave. Then he'd surf, kind of with chakra going, Then Christian would also surf, and all of Team 7 would. Then Christian pulls out a kunai saying, lightning style, thunderclap! Throws it and then electrocutes Deepa. He goes, oh! Christian says, now guys! They all go for their strongest attacks. Boruto's Rasengan does crack him a little bit. And Mitsuki hits him with a snake lightning. Sarada hits him with a fire style fireball jutsu. Then Team 7 would go for their Team 7 compressed Rasengan, going, ah! Oh yeah, Sarada would also unlock her 2 Tomoe. Christian's already had 3 Tomoe because of how strong he is and how seen his potential is as a new Chiha. So Sarada would block the attack for Boruto. Christian says, fire style dragon flame jutsu! It would bite down on him. While Team 7 gets the Rasengan ready, Christian would hold them off. He spins a kunai on his hands. He says, here goes my ultimate attack! Shadow Clone Jutsu! Creating 300 Shadow Clones. They all surround Deepa. Then they all throw lightning shuriken at him. He says, they all yell, Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu! Millions and millions of shuriken come. He says, Shuriken Blade! Creating a blade out of shurikens. Slicing him a couple of times, going dun, 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 dun. Then he stabs him in the arm. He goes, ugh. No, we can't use one of his arms. Not the one where like the rock. Christian backflips, and Team 7's almost done charging up the Rasengan. He says, then Christian says, doom, 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 doom. He goes, I want to elaborate back. So, basically, Team 7 is almost done charging up their Rasengan, and they're finally finished charging. Then they get ready to shoot it. Then Christian goes, hold on. He goes,
Chris,
what?
grab my phone, please.
I have it right here. Okay. So with that, he charges up the Chidori, and then they rush at him, going, Christian says, Chidori! Team 7 shoots their Rasengan, actually, and they hit Delta, clashing with this arm. He goes, oh! Christian behind him goes, Chidori! and stabs him through the chest. Leshy pierces him and hits him in the back, which makes him float up a little bit. And then a lightning bolt goes right through him, going. Then Christian says, "No!" They all go, "Ah!" and blast him with a Rasengan. Christian says, "Don't leave me out." And says, "Rasengan!" Then they defeat him, finally. Killing Deepa, I'm gonna guess. That killed him. Let's move on to the training thing. So, they'd all be working on developing new jutsu. Christian would want to go to Boruto and Kakashi since he's also trying to develop a new Rasengan. Since his Chidori isn't cutting it, every time he hits somebody, it doesn't pierce through them like usual it should be. Which means his Chidori isn't strong enough, so he decides to work on his Rasengan. He says, Kakashi tells them to use their biggest Rasengan they can. Christian says, "Oh!" creating a Rasengan that's not too big. It's about the size of Minato's when he did the Flying Raijin on Obito. You know, the first time they fought, he goes, "Good." Now Boruto's not too big. He says, "Alright, that one's gonna need some more." Christian, what are you trying to work on? He says. Christian says, "Shape transformation." He says, "Are you going for a new jutsu or just a better version of the Rasengan?" He says, "New jutsu." He goes, "Just like Naruto did." So they're gonna do the waterfall exercise thingy to get the shape transformation. Christian goes, till he finally cuts the waterfall. And goes, and that was like hours later. Boruto, and then now it's at night. Christian, when he's trying to use it by himself, adding the wind rotation and the Rasengan itself, he goes, No, you can't do that. It's not gonna work with just you. Try creating 2 shadow clones." Christian says, "Kagebushi!" creating 2 shadow clones, and then Boruto would do his first, creating his green Rasengan, his wind style Rasengan. He says, "I'm calling this Futa Rasengan! Rasengan Futa!" He says, "Nice." Then Christian goes, "Ah!" and creates a way bigger one, and it's blue. He says, "Whoa!" He says, "Good job, both of you." Then Boruto throws his, piercing through hitting the rock like a didn't cannon. And he says, "Christian, what are you gonna call this?" Your jutsu says, "I'm gonna call this wind style Rasen Ring," since it's in the shape of a ring. He goes and hits it, going, "Ah!" and throws it. It incinerates the rock, creating a giant explosion. He goes, "I did it. We did it, Boruto." They go, "Yeah, we created a new." Then they go, "We created a new jutsu. We created a new jutsu. Ay, 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 ay. Bring my force for Christian didn't even use his Sharingan also for the Deepa fight. Now that it's Sarada, they never even used their Sharingans. Deepa isn't even strong. Right, I have an idea for this next one. So we're gonna go on to the Owl arc because I'm gonna skip the most of them, and Boruto's gonna get his lightsaber. Christian's gonna get the Kusanagi sword because he wants to use a better blade. No, actually, no, he's not gonna take Sasuke's blade since Boruto's gonna get Sasuke's blade. He's gonna get then. Okay, one day Christian asks Sasuke, saying, "Hey, Dad, I need a new sword. Do you got one?" He goes, let me see." Then they head to the Uchiha ruins, and then he says, then he finds a scroll that he opens up. Actually, he finds a case that says Ninja Blade Uchiha. He says, "How about these?" He says, "Whoa," and shows him the case. He puts it on his hand, then puts them in. He starts training with them, going, "Ha!" And if you don't know what the Ninja Blade Uchiha looks like, I'll show you. They're actually in Shinobi Striker. And perfect because they're for Uchihas. Like my character. Who's an Uchiha? He's an Uchiha. Look at me move. I'm a banana. I'm a banana. Look at me move. So we got Sasuke's Ninja Blade. See, look. You see that? Ninja Blade Uchiha. I'll show you in 3, 2, 1. Ninja Blade Uchiha. Special ninja sword forged for Uchiha. Armored verse. Exponentially sharp. And I'll show you what they look like in game quickly in a quick mission. And they're like dual wielding on your back. And the reason why I didn't choose the Kusanagi sword is it's one sword. I like double blades. What? Boruto's got his lightsaber and his Galaxy Rasengan. What I mean by is the absorption machine and like the ninja tool. Hopefully that will be added in Shinobi Striker. I will get it. So let's just go into the owl fight. Sorry, let's get into it with them attacking. Sarada, Konohamaru, and Mitsuki would shoot their attacks at him. And with Krichin charging up his hand signs, getting ready for a strong attack. Going, Give me a sec. Hold on, this is Boruto. Why would the Saiyan be attacking them? This is what the Ninja Blade Uchiha look like. So with this fight with this fight starting, Boruto would try and attack him, but Boruto can't land a hit. He goes, Rasengan! But his attack would just be absorbed. Then Christian gets on his final hand sign. He says, Konohamaru says, now! He goes, water style, water dragon jutsu! A water dragon comes right below Owl and bites down on him. He goes, Ugh. Christian says, now for a jutsu from the second Hokage. He goes, Rrr. Then he says, water, then he jumps up in the air and creates a water dragon and like something, and he goes, water style, explosive bite of the he says, water style, explosive bite of the water dragon. Then he absolutely destroys Owl with that attack, because that's the second Hokage's jutsu. Then he'd go in for 2 strikes with the sword, trying to break the gauntlet. But he's just kicked away. Boruto would go for a lightsaber strike, going, ah! But he'd be kicked away. But then his lightsaber would be hit off his hand. Then he'd go to grab it, but then he's stabbed. Christian says, damn it! Then activates lightning style on them, going, ah! Then he kicks Owl in the face, but he doesn't really flinch. He goes, and stabs him in the throat. But he just misses, actually. He goes to stab him in the throat, but he misses. Before he's kicked away, he goes, and lands on the ground. Then he says, Sharingan! He goes, the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan, huh? He jumps in the air going, fire style, great fireball! It claps down, and then Christian goes, dun, dun, dun. Then cuts him in the face. He goes, ugh. Boruto would poof as he is a shadow clone, then kick him in the face. Owl would summon those drone things, and Christian and Boruto would jump on them. They go, and he just, no, Boruto! He, like, dives forward, and Christian grabs his leg and spins him around and throws him, going, Boruto says, Lasing! Wind style Rasengan! And hits him, and throws it at him. He hits him. Then he says, guys, hold him off. I have a jutsu that I learned. They go, right. He goes, Uchi oh ne saru tobi saru. I'm kidding. He says, he creates 2 shadow clones, then puts it in the middle saying, Rasengan! Then his clones put in the shape transformation, and the other one puts in the wind style. Stardust says, what is that jutsu? He says, wind style Rasen ring! And then he goes, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Then he goes, ah! Then rams it into him, going, it's exploding on him. He goes, oh! Defeating him. Let's just go into the thing where Ao dies. Then we have Kaji and Kojin, aka the masked dude. Konohamaru is fighting him, but then he gets trapped in electric current. And Christian and Boruto go, ah! Christian Sharingan flares, and then he also activates his karma. If you don't know why he has karma, well, he killed Urashiki. He goes, ah! And then their karma is open. Then Boruto observes the attack, and Christian says, ah! Creating a giant Chidori. Creating 2 Chidoris in his hand, going, Plasma Fist! Then hits the ground, and then 2 giant lightning bolts from the sky and clash into Kaji and Kojin. Then he just dips.